and the Travelers. Two friends were walking through a forest. They promised to stay together throughout the way. Suddenly, they heard a sound in the bushes. Something was approaching them. It was a huge bear. Both of them got scared. One of them, thinking of his own safety, climbed a tree. The other friend did not know how to climb a tree. He threw himself on the ground and lay still while holding his breath. He had heard that bears don't prey on dead people. The bear came near the man lying on the ground. He sniffed his ears and slowly walked away. The man on the tree came down. He jokingly asked his friend,
"What did the bear whisper in your ears?"
The other friend replied,
"The bear told me to never trust someone who deserts you in need."
Moral of the story? A friend in need is a friend indeed. The Cat Maiden. Two fairies were debating if it was possible for a living being to change its nature. One said yes, but the other said no. To settle the dispute, the first fairy turned a cat into a maiden with her wand. She said to the second fairy, "Now let's see what happens." The fairy got the Cat Maiden married to a young man. After the wedding, the couple sat down for the wedding feast. "See how well she is behaving? Who could tell that yesterday she was but a cat? Surely her nature has changed," the first fairy said to the second. "Wait a minute," replied the second fairy. She let loose a mouse into the room with the flick of her wand. As soon as the bride saw this, she jumped up from her seat and started chasing the mouse. The second fairy smiled at the first and said, "See, I told you." Moral: the true nature of a person doesn't change. The Peacock and the Crane. There was a peacock who often boasted about his beauty. "I've got the most beautiful tail," he would say. Once he walked to the banks of a large lake and saw a crane sipping water. "Look, what a colorless bird you are," remarked the peacock. "Your wings can never match my glory." "But my colorless wings can make me fly," replied the crane. He spread his broad wings and flew up towards the sun. The peacock stood where he was in wonder. Moral: usefulness is more important than beauty. The donkey in the lion's skin. Once, a donkey was wandering in the forest. He found a lion's skin left by a hunter. He dressed himself in it and pretended to be the lion. All the animals mistook him for the lion. They started running away in terror. The donkey was so pleased that he uttered a loud, harsh bray in excitement. The fox, who ran with the rest, stopped after hearing the voice. He approached the donkey and said, "If only you didn't bray, you would have frightened me too." The donkey dropped the lion's skin on the ground. He walked away with his head hanging in shame. Moral: clothes may disguise a fool, but his words will give him away. The Lion and the Mouse. One day, a lion was dozing off peacefully in the jungle. A mouse came near the lion and started jumping and playing on him. The lion was very angry to be woken up from his slumber. He kept his paw on the mouse's tail to stop him from running away. He caught the mouse and said,
"Oh, you're going to be my meal now. This is your punishment for harassing me."
The mouse begged and said, "Please, please let me go. I promise to help you when you need me." The lion laughed at this, but freed the mouse. One day, the lion got trapped in a net. He was scared. He roared loudly, but no one came to help him. Soon the mouse came to the lion's rescue and started nibbling at the net. The mouse set the lion free from the trap, and they became good friends forever. Moral of the story: no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. The Goose That Laid the Golden Eggs. A farmer and his wife owned a very special goose. This very special goose would lay one golden egg each day, which made the couple very rich. But one day the couple got greedy. They thought, if the goose lays golden eggs, there must be big pieces of gold inside her. So they decided to cut the goose, only to find that she was like every other goose from the inside. They had no more golden eggs. Moral of the story: too much greed gains nothing. The Fox and the Grapes. A very thirsty fox was wandering in the jungle looking for water. He spotted a bunch of grapes hanging from a vine curled up on a tree. The fox got really happy. He thought,
"This is just the thing I need to quench my thirst."
He jumped, but he couldn't reach the grapes. The grapes were too high up for him. He tried with all his strength to jump higher and higher, but he couldn't reach them. The fox finally gave up and said,
"The grapes are probably sour anyway."
And he walked away. Moral of the story: it's easy to despise what you cannot get.